Opening day. Woo! So nice to have April baseball this year, and May baseball, and June baseball, and July 4th baseball when it comes to that. Um, all right, I didn't get this out of the way yet. Just a real quick season prediction preview thing that I can look back on months from now and realize how wrong I was. Um, as far as this twin season, the only thing that matters is do they win a playoff game or not? Do they end this fucking preposterous 18 game losing streak? That's the only thing I care about. It really is. And I mean, I'm glad to have regular season baseball too, but the only thing that matters really is what may happen in October. Because they've done everything else. Like, they've won division titles, they've had big seasons, they've had Cinderella seasons, they've done everything. You know, since they last won a playoff game. I'm just asking for a playoff game win. You know. But it's like they just mean less and less and less every time that they go into the playoffs and just piss down their legs. And I think, you know, obviously, like this past one was the worst. I mean, to be swept at your home ballpark by a team with a losing record, that's as bad as it gets. And so it's like they have to win a playoff. They have to at least end. I'm not even saying they have to win a World Series or go to a World Series or even go to the ALCS. They have to win a playoff game. They have to end this embarrassing, humiliating streak. So can this team do it? Sure. like they have the roster to do it. I think I certainly think the pitching is going to be very good. I think you got Maeda, Barrios, Pineda as the top three. That's a really good top three. J Happ was put behind a little bit in the spring because he was out with COVID. But once he comes around, he should be really good, or at least really solid for like a back end starter. And Shoemaker, you know, his issue's been health, but if he can stay healthy, he should be just fine as a 5. And you got Dobnak, who seems to be improving and just signed an extension, so you've got him, you know, as a fill-in guy, and then you've got other guys, you know, that they could maybe stick in there if need be. Bullpen should be good. I mean, it's a little hard to know. You know, bullpen is the thing that really can just change wildly from year to year. But I like that they kind of got rid of some of the guys. Like, they kind of, not dead weight. I don't want to call like Trevor May and Sergio Romo and Tyler Clipper dead weight, but it can be very, very risky to count on relief pitchers, year to year. And I like that they're not going to just automatically have Taylor Rogers be the closer. Like, he might close games, but he's not going to just automatically be like, no questions asked. It's a 1-run game in the 9th. Here's Taylor Rogers, because he was fucking awful last year. So it's going to be more of a closer by committee, which I think is in general good. They've got a lot of bullpen guys with upside. We'll see how it goes. A couple guys always do better than you think. A couple guys always do worse than you think. It's just kind of the way it is. Then with the lineup, obviously, they didn't hit in the spring. They were bad in the spring for the most part. And a couple of guys who did hit didn't even make the team. So, there's definitely concerns there. Like last year, you really didn't get much that you could feel good about from most of your lineup. Like, obviously Cruz mashed, because that's what he does. But other than that, you didn't get. Obviously Donaldson missed most of the season. Polanco had a down year. Garver had a terrible year. Sano was what he is. Buxton had some injury stuff again. Kepler had a bad year. One of the guys you kind of feel good about was Rosario, and he's gone. So, and of course the Rosario thing, that didn't really work the way they planned, because you know damn well that when they decided, and I agreed with the decision to let Rosario go, you know, when they let him go, you know their plan was not to have, I guess Arias is actually the opening day starter and left, but even that was not the plan. You know, the plan was for Arias to be more of the utility guy, you know, or like a super utility guy. You know, they're going to have Jake Cave, Kyle Garlick, and then Arias occasionally, which is the old infielders in the outfield thing. I fucking hate that shit, but here we go. And, you know, maybe the Tortuga can get out there once in a while too. It's like, that was not their plan. But Kirilloff was terrible in the spring. Rooker wasn't, you know, quite as bad. You know, Rooker hit like a little bit, but not well enough to make the team at least. Not, you know, I don't know if that's a service time shenanigans issue too, but okay, just had a bird crash in the window. I don't know if that's a fucking omen for the season. Well, we'll see. God damn. All right. All right. So where was after that? But yeah. So that was not their plan for left field. You know, as of the start of the off season. You know, they'll probably do the platoon thing. If Garlick hits like he did in the spring, I mean, he'll be just fine to stick out there. And Jake Cave has had moments over the years, but you know, Buxton's got to stay healthy. I mean, it's stupid to even say that because you know he's not. He's not going to stay healthy. We need a big bounce back year from Kepler because he went in the tank last year. And look, 2020 with what the season ended up being, a lot of hitters around baseball had bad years. So, you know, we'll give them a shot to rebound all these guys. But, you know, we need a bounce back. Donaldson, we need him to be healthy. He has to get out there. I mean, that contract's already looking like a fucking disaster. And, you know, if he can get out there and play, you know, 140 games or something, you know, he helps your defense. He helps your lineup big time. You know, Polanco was not good. You know, supposedly there was an injury thing there, but, you know, we'll see if that really was a real thing or just an excuse. And then Sano, look, Sano just is what he is. I mean, he's going to be a guy who's going to strike out a ton, and he's going to hit some unbelievable bombs once in a while. But I think the ship has sailed on him being a guy you can really rely on as like a dangerous middle of the order guy. But and then Andrelton Simmons they brought in. He's the new starting shortstop. Not going to hit too much, but he should be a big help on defense. And then catcher, you need a big bounce back from Garver. But you do have Jeffers, who looked promising, and you got the Tortuga. He's in there. He's on the team, so he'll be an option. And then of course Cruz. But again, you know look, Cruz seems to be ageless, but you never know. You never know. Sometimes, how many years are you going to be able to rely on a guy that age to essentially be your best power hitter? So my guess is that the team is going to pitch very well. The hitting will be good enough. It'll come around a little bit. You know, it'll probably be a thing where you probably won't get a bounce back from everybody you want to get a bounce back from, but you'll get a couple, and that'll help a lot. And hopefully the defense is better. And I think the division is pretty weak because it's really just Twins and White Sox. I mean, Cleveland maybe could be a factor, but I don't think Detroit and Kansas City will be. So it's really, you know, Twins and White Sox, and I think the White Sox are a little overhyped. You know. So I think the Twins will win the division. I think they'll have kind of a season like they've had the last couple years. I don't think they're going to win 100 games like they did a couple years ago, but I think they should win in the low 90s and probably get in the playoffs. And that's when it'll really matter because they have. Because I frankly don't. If they win 94 games and then get swept in the playoffs again, the season is a fucking failure. I don't. Nothing else matters other than ending this preposterous playoff streak, and we'll see. I mean, we'll see in 6 months. I mean, there's nothing else to say. You know, we'll have some ups and downs, some shits and giggles in in the regular season. I'm so glad to have baseball in the spring this year and for the whole summer. Hopefully nothing crazy happens and screws up the season again. I don't think it will, but you know, it's just gonna. It's all the prelude to the stuff that really is gonna matter for because I'm sure I'm not alone amongst Twins fans. I am sick of the losing in the playoffs. It has to end now.